All right, so we've been instructed to have a project at the end of the year, STEM related, for our cognitive certification. What do we want to do this year?
I mean, where will you be like in 2 or 3 weeks if we're doing, because we're going to be we're in the Constitution right now. We'll probably be at the end of Article 3 or going into the lesser articles and into the First Amendment. So where are you guys going to be? Probably not like at the end of April.
We're in the Middle Ages, yeah, and we're about to start on feudalism, manorialism, all of the setups of society. So.
Well, I know, last year we did something on a pyramid, but that wouldn't work out.
Right. That's what I was thinking. We could, if we needed to, we could tie it in from the geography point of view, even though we did that first semester, since it's kind of an end of the year project, STEM-wise, if it would help do a history department-wide project, we could even do that with them. So y'all were talking about that. What location geographically are y'all looking at that point?
Europe, France, that general area.
Okay.
So castles.
We can do a castle. We did, when we taught that last year, we did a pyramid project when we did Egypt, but y'all didn't do that this year. So we could build a castle.
Depends on materials, whatever. That would bring in, then bring hands on, or whatever.
And and when we did that, we did it, like the kids could bring in their own materials, they could use whatever, but because we're trying to do this from a standpoint of 7th grade and 8th grade combined, we could come up with a set of materials ourselves, give them parameters, so it would make it easier to keep up with and do that. But we probably need to split it so that y'all have something that fits more for y'all and something that fits more for us. That way we're not all just sitting here building castles. So what would y'all prefer to do?
Well,
Or do you have something you prefer to do?
Since we're like actually in the Middle Ages, like if we would do the castle, and since you guys are more geography based, if y'all would do like the land makeup.
We could do that. We could take some cardboard or posters and we could do, once we talk about the land.
Yeah, we could do that, make this like the farmland, like the castle, and then not the kingdom so much, but the area around that with the surface work and the, and all that. And that could even, we could even go to, I don't know if you want to mess with it, like little motor drivers, or like a little spin, like a little water wheel or something. I mean, I don't know, that's something we can talk about.
We could, that may be an extra thing when we make a rubric, do some extra credit points on there for something like that and give them that example, since it's something we haven't done before. What about, as far as making a rubric for it, or even like an end of the year, well, this would be end of the year, but this, maybe we can make an exam for them type deal as a reward for them, if it turns out to be that big of a project, which it sounds like it will be. What do y'all
Some
think
kind of
about that?
assessment, give them some kind of grade.
Be a big summative assessment.
Yeah.
I think it's like that more hands-on instead of like ABCD tests like they're always used to.
Well, so that brings in what they've learned, and hopefully, I know sometimes 7th graders don't retain, but maybe they can from what we did in geography as far as different learning forms, especially because it's just black dirt and rocks. So
And that's the best case when they can actually apply it and do it. I mean, we've done our jobs.
What about stuff like, what seems available for y'all to do in class? Like, do they need to bring their own supplies? Do we need to use teacher money? I've got some teacher money left over that I could use. I think it'd be enough for all of us, because I really haven't used a lot this year.
Teacher money would probably be better as far as not putting pressure on the kids to bring supplies.
Because you have some that can, some that won't, some that brings massive stuff, some that brings like.
some probably wouldn't. I know we did this in the past. And we had those who had brought more than what anybody needed, and those who couldn't, they still provided for them. So we didn't do the teacher money. We still might have some people who show up.
Can
We have some students.
Is that a good idea? Can you do that as far as throwing out if you want to bring things? Some bring it, or
Yeah, I think we do. I think that goes into the rubric part of it, whereas this could be the, not necessarily extra credit just for bringing something, but, that goes into the creativity part of it. When we did it with the pyramid, kids would bring anything from wood, cardboard, the foam that you can cut real easy. And Rice Krispie treats. I've even had gummy bears built with it before. Maybe I can use my teacher money. I'll find just an easy, like the foam I just referenced, where it already comes in shapes, and they can use a hot glue gun that we've got and put that together. That way, everybody's will be the same as far as the castle. Right now, our landscapes may be different because that's just going to be pure creativity, really. But as far as the castle goes, y'all can do it that way, and then the kids just decorate it their own way to make it its own twist. Instead of saying, all right, they all have to be gray with black tops, you know what I mean?
Well, just using what you guys are right now, what you'll be doing for that unit, but they'll know how to, so it'll help create the landscape around it, or at least, what would the whole crops be, then, if you do that, or, if you got quarters or servants, live there instead of in the castle, or.
I think we could definitely do that on our end, making the landscape part of it, and then that we could get together at some point, at the end. What do we think timeline-wise? Maybe a week to build it in class? Does that seem like enough?
When is the,
Before we combine, like y'all on your own.
let me see what the last, okay, so our last week is the 25th in May, so if we back 2 weeks from that, it would start on the 8th, May
Okay.
8th through the 19th.
So if we said the first week of the 8th, that'd be what?
That'll be the second full week of of May.
And so then we get together that following week and start combining them where the castle is actually sitting on the platform.
I think that's what we do.
And then we've got a couple extra days on actually exam week if we needed a little bit more time to finish up presenting. We could do that. And then we can start looking between now and then as far as creating a rubric between us about what we're looking for.
And you still have time to get in the semester exam study guide, like towards the second week, because at that point, we're putting the big stuff had already been happening. Now you're just trying to get it all together to present, and then let the classes display it to each other so they can see their finished product. Both sides can come together with it and see what it looked like together,
Okay.
instead of just seeing one side of it.
So what do we need to find out from admin wise if we can count for an exam, or if we're going to have to actually have an exam? Because if that's the case, we push it back a little bit and we just finish on the last day of school. What else?
How can we come together at some?
Yeah.
Yeah, can we come together? Yeah, we haven't really talked about that, since you guys are upstairs.
Where would we do that if we met? We could go to the courtyard.
Is there anywhere else that's happening? I'm gonna check and see if we can go outside.
Okay, I'll talk to admin about that. So ask about exams, ask about meeting place. We could potentially do it in the computer lab also, depending what we needed to do. Obviously, we don't want to take much on arts and crafts in there.
Depends, the materials, because I remember
Maybe we
last
can-
year that you had a kid there that painted your
Maybe we could use the
counter.
art teacher's classroom or planning or something.
But she's,
She has a. Also, illustration.
Or yeah, or using the
We could swap
computer
classes.
text.
What's the other room upstairs next to it, not on the opposite side of the table? Like
Oh,
across the
sure,
street
yeah.
here.
So we got some, okay, so I'll ask them about location.
If we can't go outside a couple of days, we can do that there.
What else? What about, try and cap it at 5 groups of class? Because we need to have it even, because if we have 5 platforms, then y'all need to have a castle.
Yeah, our first period.
Oh, yeah. Well, their factory's gonna be small too, though.
I have 11.
I have to do that.
That can be like 2
And
groups.
if we need to mix and match, we can. So yeah, it should.
How many per group? Like what's the,
If like for our first period, I guess we could say 3 in that, since that's small. But if you got 10, he's got,
I've got
11.
11.
Okay, so I've got some 9, I've got small, so we'll make it work on that. We'll just take the numbers.
You don't want more than 5 in a group,
Right.
anyway, because then you got people messing around. But that's what we discovered in the past.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't rather mess and haste down it. I wish they could make that.
Now, do we want to pick their groups
I
for
think you
them?
pick, yeah,
Because
I
we'll
think
have
you
some of
have-
those classes that
just make sure you have that one person that you know when everything doesn't work, this person gets done.
Something I've done in the past,
It
and
can be a team.
and it's not, it's been good sometimes, and it just depending on certain class periods, it hasn't been good, but overall, it's been good. I would do a drawing of numbers 1 to 5, and then the person that got number 1 would be a group leader. We would do like a draft. Those guys would come out here and they would pick, but you also snake it that way. That's, they don't always just get the first round pick. So they're getting to pick, but at the same time, all the kids are getting picked. So, I mean, if you want to do something like that, you do what you want as far as making your groups. But, sometimes we have to think about that for our classes as far as making them all work.
And we know all our classes.
Yeah, correct. Each class is a little different.
Yeah.
So
So, yeah, that sounds good. So I'll reach out to admin, talk to them about that. Anything else? Good.
We just start getting some plumbing, start.
Start getting supplies, order stuff, and shoot
you
for
guys
the.
want to do a rubric for your part and then us do one for ours?
Yeah, I think that, and then we could just do, the winning group between the two grades is something special. Like the finished product, we can candy, popsicle, we'll figure something out, whatever that. Well, I tell you what, we can even make a Google form and put some options in there about what they might like.
Let them vote, let them decide.
All right.
Especially know about it.